Hi and welcome. I appreciate you coming to my channel, The Obsessed Painter. My name is Debbie Blatt and I just wanted to share my latest project with you. This one has just been a total joy, a project of love for me. There is a certain artist, her name is Juliette Belmonte, and I've admired her for years. And I came across her artwork again and I thought this would make a perfect decoupage paper for a dresser. And this dresser was for me personally. So I contacted Juliette and she agreed that I could use her artwork, and she sent me, I purchased basically a PDF of her artwork and I sent it off to Only Decoupage. It's a company or a small business on Etsy, and I will link all that information below in the comments or in the more section. But I just wanted to share this with you because when I sent off that PDF, they sent me back the most beautiful piece of decoupage paper. It was like on a rice paper. It was just gorgeous. The colors were vibrant and bright and yummy, and so I used it for my dresser. So without further ado, this is my dresser. This artwork is by, again, Juliette Belmonte, and the picture is called Frannie. I love all her artwork. I suggest you go take a look at it. And there are so many that could be used, I think, as furniture art. I plan on doing another. Again, I'll contact her. Always contact the artist and get their permission just to play it safe and make sure you're not stepping on any toes. Also, this is not for resale. This is for me personally, so I don't know how they might feel about it if you plan on reselling it. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video, and I hope you enjoy it. I appreciate you dropping by. If you have any questions, please just message me, and I'd be happy to answer any that I can answer. I'm a new furniture artist, and so been in the art business for some time, but just new at flipping furniture. So you may know more than I do. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. This here of what I'm doing is I'm trying to take the top off this dresser. If you can tell, I don't know if I can show it to you very well. I've tried to sand it, but it's really warped right here. And this is the front of the dresser. This is the whole thing. I pardon the mess. My husband shoved it in a corner over here because he told me it was unsavable. And that right there is a challenge for me. And I am going to save this piece just to prove that it can be saved. It is walnut. It shows me back here. Let me get back here. It says stump walnut. So I think it's worth trying to save. I'm trying to get this top piece off. You can see there's nails here, and I've popped this off the top of the dresser. What they've done is they've put this piece down first, and then they nailed it. And then they put this piece on top, and then they nailed it. So I can see the construction of the dresser. I understand that, but they have used some glue. So I've got to get some solvent underneath here and get some glue off of there. And I've got to get these smaller nails right here out before I can work on the bigger nails, because the smaller nails are holding on this top piece, which is sandwiching the larger nail through here with some old bent veneer.
And what I did is I went through and filled in, obviously, as you can see, any little damages, nicks, or anything. And I used the Dixie mud, which worked out beautifully for this project. I just love the Dixie mud.
I used the Dixie Belle mud, which I'm almost out of now. And it looks like I probably got it. So I'm going to give it a quick sanding. There's hardly any little blemishes, but I just want to be better safe than sorry. I'm running it just along the edge here where these two meet. Just ever so slightly. You probably won't even have to sand it there. I just want to make sure there's no big gaps. You know, cliffs or edges, that's what I should try to say. I just want this, the mud transition into the grain so nicely. That, my friends, is a wrap, I believe. And after I paint these and decoupage them and do all I'm going to do, I'll still come back and really sand these edges if they get any paint on them, because that causes them not to fit properly. And these drawers are not in the best of condition cosmetically. I mean, structurally, yeah, they're sound. I think they're gonna all need to be painted, because either that or I'm gonna spend hours and hours sanding, and I don't feel like doing that when I can still get a nice result using paint. Okay, so there's the top. It's all finished. My drawers have been all repaired. I'm gonna go blow those out with the air on the air compressor. Then I'm gonna throw the dresser up here and take a look at that and see what damage we have on there. Okay, looking at this, it looks really good. It looks like I'm gonna need to put a little bit of repair right there. That's where that foot was stuck on, and they nailed it and glued it, so that caused a bit of a problem. Looks like these used to have casters, and I don't know if I could find anything to replace them, so I'm gonna leave it off. Would be nice to have. Just a little chip right there, not much. I think I could sand around it. This looks pretty good. I've washed it down, but it's so old. Probably needs another good sanding, I think, just a delicate sanding. Here's my edge over here. It's in good shape. No broken molding. Right here, I got a little gouge. I think I can Dixie mud that. It's not too bad. Inside, the drawers are all solid. They're really good. It looks like it's in pretty darn good shape as far as that goes. So I think what I'll do is, I've got a little Dixie mud over there where I saw something earlier, and I'm gonna sand that off. And I'm just gonna kind of take a little bit of a bristle brush to this and kind of get off anything I can and repair this right here. So we'll start with that. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've just clamped along here with some glue. I was going to take off this back piece of wood because it's kind of weathered and damaged, but I liked that it had this tag on it stating that it was stump walnut, and I think it's good enough. I could even paint it possibly and make it look better.
Put the primer on the underside of this dresser top, just in case,
with some Gorilla Glue
for
and make it look
future
decent.
protection.
I did all the
Anything should
sanding.
spill on here and it's seeped through.
There was just
I'm
one
going to
little
go ahead and
spot
caulk
right
around
here.
the
I
edges
took
as
care
well,
of
but
that
it's better safe than sorry again.
and wiped it
With these
down again.
projects,
And
you
now
put
I'm
so
going to
much
go
work
ahead.
into
I
them.
have some kilts
You
right
just want to
now.
make sure that you take all
This is
precautions
what I've got.
and
I
any
also
future
have some
damages.
Dixie Belle White, but I'm running low, so
Right
I'm going to
here
try
at
this
time,
because
you
I've
can
seen
see
that
me.
it's a
I'm
really
taking the
good
screws and I'm
primer.
testing the
I've
depth
used it
of the
before, and I'm
screws.
going to try it
So I
on
want to
here
make sure
because
that once I screw them
this
in,
is definitely
that they
going
don't
to
come
bleed
out
through
the finished top of
any place
my
that it's
dresser.
been disturbed.
Also,
so I'm
what
gonna
I
go ahead and
chose to
just
do was pre-drill
try
the
the kills on
holes,
there this
so
time.
that the screws, when they go in, they didn't
Okay,
split
I've
my
waxed
wood.
the runner
And
that the
again,
drawer goes
measured, made
I'm
sure
gonna
I
place
knew
the
depth
drawers
of the
in now
dresser,
and make sure
and
they
then I
don't go
marked
back
my
in
drill
too
bit
far
with
to make
some
sure I don't
tape,
need
so
any
I didn't go
stoppers in the
past
back.
that. So again, I
That's
didn't
the
drill
dresser
through the top of my
I'm gonna just
dresser.
kind of turn
What I
that over there
decided
so
to do
you
on
can see
here
it.
was
But
to
I
use
just wanted to
screws
show you
instead
how
of
nicely
nails
that did turn
when I'm
out.
putting these two pieces together.
And
I
I'm
also
quite
decided
pleased
to
with that.
use
So I'm going to lay this
Gorilla
down
Glue
now
just
and
as
go ahead and get
extra
started on
precaution to make sure
reattaching
it's
this
good
and
and
then
solid.
reattaching
And
the whole
again,
thing
like I
back
said, I
onto the
did
dresser.
pre-drill, got them all in there, and then I clamped this all together and let it sit and dry overnight. Once the top was dry and ready to be attached, I did go ahead and reattach it with the original nails that were in there. They were in great shape, and I was just able to set them right back into the same holes. And then I took my mallet and gently tapped it down and got it settled really well. Also, you don't see it, but I did run a little glue along here as well to make sure that once the top was mounted and level, that it did have the glue to keep it stable. It was a lot of work, but I was quite pleased with this top. There was a little bit of cracking in my top there along the edge, the seam of the wood, but the cracking was nothing that a little Dixie Belle mud couldn't fix, and a light sanding. So I was really quite pleased with this project. A lot of work, but it turned out beautiful. So here I am just taking off the edging of the decoupage paper. Again, all you use is a little bit of water and a paintbrush to soften up the edge of the water, and then
This
just
is
peel
by
it off. And I'm just
Juliette
taking off
Belmonte,
ever so
and
slight
Belmonte,
amount
I
on
believe
this
is how you say it.
print.
She's an amazing artist, and I paid for a print from her, and then I sent this print in to a company on Etsy, and I will give you that information below in the more section. But I sent it to them, and they made me a piece of decoupage paper out of it. So this is the beautiful print that's going to go on this dresser.
On each other.
And this one I'll be keeping for myself because I love her work. And I'm taking actually a class from her right now, which is really fun. It's an online class, and it's been great.
I also got out my clear sealant and I started to lay down my decoupage
all centered.
paper. Now most people start at the top and work their way down. I guess I'm just backwards. I started at the bottom of the closest area to me,
tear away those
and
edges so they're a little bit more organic. You put some shoulders on her,
polyurethane
and
satin finish
it looks
to
like her
lay
hair's
down
up in
my
a turban
decoupage paper.
or
I'm using
just
that
a
as
messy
the glue.
bun. And I got to figure that
It
out.
works really well. Also, when I'm done laying it down,
the painting,
I will go ahead and go over the whole top of the paper with the poly to make sure that it's all sealed in, and then I let that dry really well. I come back with my X-Acto knife so that I'm able to cut right along the edges of each drawer to separate my drawers.
This is really all that I took off.
I did use a heat gun once I put the poly on there to help dry it, and when you do dry it with the heat gun, it helps remove the wrinkles. It works like magic. It's wonderful. But again, once it was dry, I went ahead and cut it with the X-Acto knife and got a nice edge. Then I went back with my polyurethane, and along those edges that I cut, I made sure that I had enough poly underneath there to seal it off really well so that it didn't have it ripping or pulling away when you opened and closed the drawers. And it's just a good precaution just to make sure you give it a good, nice finish. Once my decoupage was all dry, it was time to start the blending with the paint. And I did have to alter this artwork just a bit. I needed to add some shoulders onto my lady on the dresser. And what I also did is I took a piece of meshing that I had. It was black mesh fabric, and I created a scarf for her because you can see that they have she has like a zigzag black and white there on her neck, and that's where Juliette, she does a lot of decoupaging and she uses a lot of mixed media when she does her artwork. And that was just a piece of paper that she actually applied to her original before she made it into a print. And although it is beautiful, I just couldn't extend it any further without making it look like it didn't blend. It just didn't look right. So I went ahead and I put some shoulders on my lovely little lady here, and I blend all the paint into it. And also I'll come back with some flesh tone and work on her shoulder area as well in a little bit. So in order to cover up that black and white zigzag there, I did go in and put that black tulle or meshing, and I created a scarf on her, and you will see that on the final project. The rest of it was just me blending in using the colors that matched. I used a lot of espresso, and I loved how that brown espresso really mixed in well with the dresser. Also, I kind of just took some of the paint that matched and highlighted on top of my decoupage paper itself, because I wanted to, again, extend her turban or her hair upwards, but not having it cover the whole dresser. And so you'll just see me working the paint with some water, and this is all Dixie Belle chalk paint that I'm using.
I've been making good progress on this dresser. I've gone ahead and texturized and painted the inside of the bottom drawer with a beautiful metallic green. This metallic green is called, let's see,
What I did
Deep
is
Woods.
I took my colors that I used on the front,
Metallic by
and I
Dixie
just
Belle.
started to randomly
And
stamp
I'm
it.
going to do that to all of the inside of
staple
my
it
drawers. I like that. I want to be able to pull
sides.
them out
And I
and
did
see
this
them.
on both sides,
So
and
you
you'll
can see
see
I've
that
finished off the edges of the
video
drawer here so that it
And I
matches
painted right over top of that
the
raised
front
stencil
of the drawer.
that I
So
put
when
on
the
the
drawer's
side
pulled
panel
out,
here.
it's part
And
of the
that is
picture.
fine because I
And
come
then I
back
did stencil
with
the
some gold
edges
gilding
of
wax,
all the drawers,
and
and
I
this
dry brush it
beautiful,
basically over top
with it being black,
of just
I
the
used
stencil
the
so it
beautiful
looks
gold
really sharp.
gilding
The raised
wax.
stencil, I
Let's
should
see,
say.
which one was that?
And then when I got through doing all of
This
that,
one is
I took the
by,
stencil that I used on the side of the door,
sorry, it's
the
Prima,
drawers, the little leaves and flowers,
redesigned by
and I
Prima, and
stenciled
it's
that
the
whole
decor
side of
wax.
both sides, I should say, of the
There we
dresser.
go.
And it just
And
brought
this
it
is
all
the
together and made it
eternal,
look so sharp.
It's a nice wax. It comes in a tube so you can regulate how much is coming out, and it does give a good finish. Just gotta let it dry overnight. Also on the side of the dresser, I've gone ahead and put just kind of a random raised stencil, and I'm going to do the side of the dresser over here to match the front of the dresser drawers, so it looks like this.
Alrighty, I'm going to jump ahead here and basically show you the finished product. I decided to go ahead and stencil the top of the dresser and add a lot of gold gilding. There's my little lady. She's all finished, and you can see on her that I did add the scarf. I added some words, and you'll see the gold gilding around the edges. The scarf, I just kind of did some stenciling over top of it to make it blend in with the rest of the dresser. And you can see that I used the stencil on the top, on the sides, so it just brings it all together, just finishes it up nicely. And then I dry brushed, again, the gold gilding. But I wanted to tell you what I did do on this dresser is I did paint it black where the black belongs, except for all over the dresser, I took the brown wax and I just buffed it into every place that was black. So it gave the black a nice
I know this looks kind of bizarre right
look,
now,
and I really
but I'm
liked
gonna come
that.
in
The only
and I'm
place
gonna
I
wax
did not
this
put
with
the
some
brown
wax
wax was
all
right
around
on the
this
very
edge.
top.
You can see I've started
I
putting
left
in the
that
black
just the
trim
solid
here.
black,
All
and
of
I
this
did not
will
do
be
that
black.
on
The
there
top's
or
going
on
to
the
be
sides
black.
of the drawers. I did stencil on the sides
And
of
it'll
the
all
drawers.
match in with the,
As you can see, there's also the insides
the black that's
of
showing
the drawers.
here
You
that
can see the
matches
green
the
in there. It
drawers.
looks beautiful when you pull them out. So all in all, the dresser was just a blast to do. The colors were so vibrant and bright. Thanks for sharing in this project with me. I hope it has inspired you to get out there and try something a little different, work outside of your comfort zone. I appreciate you being here. Now go out and create some beautiful art.